What's up everyone, VenomousStare. Today, a wonderful game between two wonderful players, both of which are en route. Puck, a macro Protoss from America, and Zerg, and by Zerg I mean Vibe, playing Zerg, an exceptional player who, quite honestly, has one of the best emotes on Twitch, which is this Pepe, Mutalisk, however you want to say it. And it really doesn't get much better than this, folks. Vibe and Puck are two of my favorite players. They're two people who both stream on Twitch, and they stream frequently. And both of them do commentary. Gateway opener for Puck here. This position is very indicative of a incoming expo. Interesting to note that Puck opened Gateway. This is pretty standard. But on New Gettysburg, there is an extremely popular cannon rushing spot versus Zerg. You build a pylon here, the cannon here, a second cannon here, and the first contingency protects the second, and it's very hard to deal with. Spawning pool after hatchery from Vibe, so standard macro Zerg opening for Vibe. Puck is also going to expand, notice, one worker in gas. He wants to get those minerals built up as quickly as possible. Boom, there's the Nexus. Vibe has his initial two overlords placed in a very defensive location. One of them is at the natural ramp, the other at this extremely close bridge, which on New Gettysburg, by the way, is the main way that you will see attacks come in almost every matchup. This map is unique. It has this middle area that is kind of droopy and long. It has rocks, it can go all the way around, but it has this incredibly quick little bridge that leads from one natural to another. Now, cannon rushes are so popular on this map that Vibe has actually elected to use Overlord numero uno and numero his initial two overlords. He wants to use them to scout because he wants to keep track of this probe. It's very dangerous to not know where the probe is, because very easily it can slip over here, build a couple cannons, and ruin your day. Because notice the creep doesn't even adequately cover this back natural, so you can cannon here, and then even after this is done, add another cannon. So Vibe really wants to be cautious of where that probe is. Adept is going to scout what it can for Puck, and a Twilight Council is on the way for Puck. Usually Twilight in Legacy of the Void is indicative of Resonating Glaives, the Adept attack speed upgrade. Vibe takes a very quick third, and he's making drones and queens. This style is a pretty popular one. You delay your gas, you delay your lair, you make lots of drones. I mean lots of drones. You just go hog wild on drones. Puck actually might lose his Adept here. It will shade away narrowly with 12 HP with a kill. Resonating Glaives do start, so usually this is indicative of Adept play. Players will sometimes supplement their Adept play with a Robo. Puck is going to add another gateway, and he already has his Robo coming. It's almost done. Note the delay of gas, the third and fourth gas. So what this means, as Puck adds a couple more gates, as this is either a warp, whenever you see the lack of gas, it's either an expand or a warp gate all in. Puck starts to chrono out a warp prism. So with only a few gates, I really don't think this is an all in. He's making this warp prism. He has the money to make more gates, and he's not doing it. Vibe, notice, has taken a fourth. He's taken a third. The income is looking very good for both players. Vibe is getting +1 melee upgrades, which indicates to me he wants to play an aggressive style with mass Zerglings, pressuring this third base, because I've seen him do this versus Protoss in a game versus a player named Son Goku. Resonating Glaives are almost done. By the way, you can find that game on my channel. Vibe is going to try to scout in to see what Puck has, but Puck has two warp gates coming up. He can just warp in a Stalker and deflect this. Oh my gosh, Puck is taking the island, and Vibe has no idea. So what does Vibe see? He sees, oh, a Twilight and a gate. So nothing really. And Puck is starting to deflect his harass. He also is just kind of repositioning an Overlord here. He sees the Robo, to me, this looks a lot like a potential warp gate all-in. Really, no one does this island. This island base is going to be the linchpin of the game. Now, it's worth noting that Puck is going to distract Vibe with this Warp Prism Harass, and he's probably going to use this Evo Chamber to use a little Sim City maneuver, and he picks up the Adepts that are being attacked and starts to do some damage here. He hasn't lost a single unit, although he will lose that Adept that had 6 kills. Nice harassment there from Puck. Ooh, but he loses the Warp Prism to the recently air range buffed Queen, which now has 9 range. Now you see these red things, these are air blockers, which is kind of an obnoxious little feature, as we see another island base being taken from Puck. This means that air units can't really effectively fly. I mean, they can't even pass through here. Nice recall, Puck recalling probes to his island base so he can immediately start to get income. Great move. An Immortal might die here. So this is an extremely exciting game. Vibe is playing a very Ling heavy style based on constantly canceling the third base, but Puck very intelligently has taken these double island bases, and due to the fact that there are air blockers here, Vibe is significantly less likely to scout it, because you're really not going to want to fly Overlords over these bases. It's very abnormal for them to be taken. Notice Vibe does have one of the new skins for the roaches. I think they're called Evolved Roaches or Battle Roaches or something, so that's why they look different. It appears as though Puck is going to use his extremely high income off of this quick 4 base to tech up and kind of go into a tech base build as opposed to like a warp gate based build. Double Stargate indicate to me that he prioritizes air dominance, which is very, very intelligent, because Puck knows that if he can get a stranglehold on air, how is Vibe going to kill these bases? He can try a mass drop, which with these air blockers would be suicide, or he can try Nidus. And if Puck can limit vision, Nidus will be very hard to pull off. And also another thing to consider is you can fly around and defend pretty easily with air units against Nidus Worm. Puck is going to send in a hallucinated Phoenix, see what Vibe has. He sees the delayed gases and the 4th. This is very good for Puck. Puck knows that Vibe is probably trying to play this Ling heavy style, and the Observer is going to confirm it. Lots and lots of Lings here for Vibe. Vibe is really banking on this third base being here. He wants to break this with Ravager Ling. At this point, he's scouting around. He's saying, well, where the hell is your third? You should have a third by now. Vibe, of course, is making lots of creep. He's a very good creep spreading Zerg. And at this point, he's kind of confused. He knows that Puck probably has a third based on the units. He has scouted around. He can't really figure out what's going on, so he's just going to attack the front door. Puck does have sentries. He can force field. He force fields one pylon that dies. His Robo's at risk of dying, but he has enough force field in Phoenix not for everything to go completely awry. Ooh, he throws in a couple more force fields. The Lings start to die. One of the gateways is underpowered, but the Ravagers will be killed by Phoenix, and the force field wall will prevent Puck from sustaining any real damage. And at this point, he has an absurd amount of income. 86 Harvesters, absolutely killing it as the Protoss player Puck. And Vibe did a build really focused around cracking the third base, and you can't really crack an island base with Zerglings. Nidus on the way here from Vibe. So Vibe, he finally saw this little island. It has been revealed. He doesn't know about this one. And he has a changeling here, so he will be able to see that pesky island base, meaning, of course, that he can Nidus it once it comes up. Now, he's going to attack the front door here. Vibe, I would say, he wants to attack the front door to try to distract Puck while he Niduses, because I don't think Puck will die just to Nidus, but if he's always having to worry about these extremely dangerous upgraded Ling counters. Oh, Puck recalls. He wants an overcharge here. The Nidus comes up, 5 queens come out, an overcharge comes down. Puck has 4 cannons to defend, warps in 2 more zealots to defend as well, brings over his Phoenix. They have to fly around because of air blockers. Puck is also teching to Storm and +2 to match Vibe's +2. At this point, the Phoenix can try to deal with the queens because The queens are in such few number, and Vibe is going to attack the front door, but it's very, very hard to break a front door of Protoss with pure Ling against Sentry. This Cybernetics core is one of the points of contingency we have to worry about, but at this point, Puck has so many adepts with resonating glaives that he holds that off. Sentry is, of course, instrumental in holding off pushes like that. And Vibe's going into Aerotoss, and by Vibe I mean Puck. Puck also has Storm Finish, and at this point, Vibe is trying to make mass drones, but I mean, look at that. The Phoenix have done so much damage. Puck has so many Phoenix. Notice he's gotten +1. That's very valuable for harassing. It also means Hydralisk are worthless. And with this absurd income disparity and the lack of overlords, Vibe is going to have to do something drastic to win this game. He's very, very far behind. It looks as though he might just do a last-ditch Baneling all-in. Look at this. He's limited. He has 101 supply out of 46. He's severely supply blocked. And at this point, he just wants to try to break the natural of Puck and try to run in with Lings, because this income of these island bases are too much to overcome. Vibe has a ton of Ling ban, and he's going to try to break this. Puck has a brilliant SimCity. Force fields are going to go down. Here they are. Vibe tries to break the pylon wall, but he really can't, guys. There's just too many sentries here. Ling Bane just does not work against sentries. Vibe knows this, of course, but he's just so far behind that he had to try something risky. Go to income. Look at that. Protoss with 87 workers, over a double of Zerg. Storm going down onto the Ling Bane, which is exceptional against Ling Bane. And Puck takes the game with a nifty, nifty double island base play. So remember, whenever Vibe scouted that initially, he saw the early Warp Prism, he saw the Twilight, and there was a lot of Fog of War, so maybe a Warp Gate all in. Played a little paranoid. Why would you ever think that the Protoss would double fast expand to the islands? It's extremely abnormal and, quite frankly, very creative from the Protoss player Puck. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more StarCraft 2, and subscribe to both Puck and Vibe on Twitch, and follow them on Twitter.